Sentire Media.
Well, good morning. Thank you so much for downloading the podcast from Italy. Good morning, Ashley.
Ciao, ciao.
24th of February, a Monday morning, a little bit rainy. Come on, Mama. Cat's trying to drink the coffee. It is a rainy, drizzly Monday morning, and it's a perfect time to fire up the microphones and do a podcast for the month.
Sounds good. Let's do it.
What's your...
Just a freaking cat.
Let's see. The last 6 weeks or so have been pretty shit. We had Leroy, the giant Great Dane, got a horrible infection in his leg. Just to make a long story short, he had a benign cyst at the beginning of January.
By the end of January.
One day it turned into, I noticed, that looks a little bit, it was on the back of his hock.
His heel.
One afternoon it was like, that looks a little bit swollen. 2 hours later it was a baseball. So we bounced around to a couple of different vets. It got really, really bad, and he ended up in the vet hospital 2 hours away. Spent a week in the hospital. They had to drain out the infection, blah, 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 blah.
Turns out
lots of damage from the infection, so the skin around the wound died away and completely, and a bunch of muscle got eaten, and it's just a mess. So it comes back that he had two different infections in his leg. One was, come on, Mama.
Strep.
One was strep, basically, and the other was a type of pneumonia called Klebsiella pneumonia. And this wasn't just any type of Klebsiella pneumonia. This is the hot shit. This is the new shit. This is the new strain, HVKP, rather than the regular K, which everyone else gets. No. We got the new stuff.
Hypervigilant.
Virulent. Totally
antibiotic resistant.
Resistant to antibiotics.
So it was that he would get these antibiotics that were how you would normally treat this. And it would start to go away for a day and then come back, boom, bigger and stronger. And it was a mess. The poor guy had skin grafts.
Yeah. There's no skin for the wound to heal. So
we have been doing nothing but full-time job of dog transport. Either we were going down to visit him in Osimo, the 2-hour drive each way to go see him. Jason would go down just to take him for a 15-minute walk to go to the bathroom.
Okay, well, real quick, because this is an animal hospital, so they're there to treat his sick. They're not there to make sure he gets the correct amount of exercise. Plus, he wasn't eating if I wasn't there. At first, and they weren't walking him properly.
No, it's a great place, but exactly, this isn't like a doggy daycare for dog walking. They're doing emergencies and vet visits and all of this. So they did have a proper space for him, almost think of it like a glass closet in the same room with other dogs that were recuperating.
Enough space.
Yeah. But then it was like, all right, he was good enough to leave the hospital, but would need to come back for daily therapy of changing the bandages and doing laser treatment. So what's really interesting here is that to start this off, once the skin died away, they do a mix of old school and modern medicine, meaning they packed the wound with sugar and honey, which is a natural antibiotic and also eats all the bad stuff and grows the good stuff. And so that was to help rejuvenate the first layers of skin. And then they also treat it with the modern technology of the laser treatment, which has been great as well.
So now we're about 6 weeks out from the original surgery, and we are now 3 times a week. And 1 time a week going 2 hours south, 2 times a week going an hour and a half north, because that saves us a half hour each way.
So, and it's always right in the middle of the day, or even if it's not, the day is freaking shot, because you go down there and his therapy session is 45 minutes or so. And then the poor guy's gotten anxiety driving in the car because it's so long. He loves the vets and all of that. But now something I'm sure people are curious about, because it's all right, enough with the actual medical gross stuff. If anyone wants to see photos, let me know. But people, I'm sure, are curious about the cost.
Not nearly what it is in the States.
No.
No.
Now,
So-
we haven't gotten the final bill from the actual dog hospital.
No, but the first one was expensive. The emergency everything on a
Sunday and like 2 nights or 3 nights on like their ICU.
That was like €1,000 right there. So that was like the first 3 days. Then they gave us an estimate for what they thought it was going to be, and they thought it was going to be around another €2,000.
They thought that was also if he was going to be staying there, boarding him
nine
nights and therapy for 9 days. Now, we ended up bringing him back sooner than that, but he still had therapy for many days after that.
But the therapy isn't expensive.
No, the place in Pesaro is $20 a shot for the
Which
therapy.
I don't understand because they use enough gauze and like tape and they're like I'm like there's $20 in like medical supplies just right there. They tape it up really, really nice. It looks great. But so not as I'm sure if you were in the States this would be $10,000-$12,000 easily.
Yeah, and that first 1,000 included some of the surgery that he had originally had too. So
now there's talk.
We have just been doing this all since like January 20-something that this has been nonstop with him.
So we haven't gotten shit done.
No.
We are very much behind everything. Everything is put off. And you say, why don't you take him somewhere around here? We live in a place where there's nothing. There's our local vet. They're nice. They're fine for little things, but
and checkups and things like that.
They kind of scratched their head and was like, I don't know.
Well, this place had said, I mean, we talked to my cousin who's a vet in Tulsa, to the vets here, and they were like, we've never seen anything like this to this extreme. That's why we're number one.
We only get the new shit. But how does it happen?
Oh my God, who knows? We live in the wild.
We live in the wild. He could have rolled in animal feces. He could have gone into water that had it in there. Who the hell knows? But yeah, we're on the other side of it, and that only took 7 minutes to tell you all about. So that's basically lots of kilometers on the car, lots of driving.
That's all we've been up to. During that, though, was the end of hunting season, and they had their annual end of season lunch that we were invited to. So Jason made up a quadruple batch of
cookies,
chocolate chip cookies, which everyone loves. They just call them American cookies. And so Jason was taking Leroy back and forth that day, and so I went to represent. And of course, it's always great to have a lunch with the locals. And I sat with Gaji and Rosanna's neighbors, and they're super sweet in their 60s, I would say. And they invited Jason and I to go dancing. If we wanted to ever go dancing with them, they go sometimes to the coast for seafood if we want to be on their like invite list, and also some of these dance evenings, and it's not like a club. It's like you go to
like a hall,
or like an agriturismo.
Yeah, and they have a big room, and you do dinner and dancing. I will never go, but it's nice to be invited.
I know. And they even said, we'll invite you. You don't have to come if you don't want to, but we'll put you on the list. But that made me laugh. And I found out that Gachi's wife, Rosanna, is turning 80 next year. So we have a year to plan a big birthday for her.
How does that tie in?
Because at the lunch, sitting with their neighbors, she told me.
Gotcha. Sorry.
But it's always fun just to go sit there and kind of talk shit with the guys. And they were like, oh, you're without your husband today. And for the first, they give Jason a hard time for not being there. And then everyone had heard about the dog because they all know Leroy. And then they said, oh, she's without a husband today, and would try to pour me more wine. But it's always fun.
Other things going on around here in the area. They started. The road got our road. Did you take a picture of it?
Not yet.
Okay, you have to take a picture before this goes up. Pierangelo, bless his heart, he's the farmer up the road, and he's had enough of all the shit roads. So he came out with. He
lives in town, but the farm is at the end of our road, so he has
to drive the whole thing every day,
twice or 3 times a day.
Yeah. So he got out his tracked tractor with the big blade on the front. Caterpillar with the big blade on the front, and started just taking out the brush on the side of the road.
Oh my God.
Clearing everything out.
It was like a dream come true. And I think he thought, like, why is she so happy about this? But I was like, we have fantasized about coming in with a piece of equipment.
Yeah, we don't have
and
the
clearing.
equipment.
There's this stretch where it's just like bramble brush and like.
Well, the tree, the bramble is grown into the road as such that you can't get on the edge of the road where the potholes aren't, because you'll just scrape. Well, we have, but you'll just destroy your car with all the brambly on your side. So you have to drive in the middle of the road and take all the bumps. Well, now he's cleared all the bramble. He made the road twice as wide.
It's incredible.
However, he tried to fix the bridge, which begins the shit part of the road, and all he has done is push the bridge
had 2 small lakes on top of it. It was quite an incredible pond action going on this bridge.
So he has pushed a bunch of mud and rock into there and made a...
Not only to just to fill the holes.
No.
Like so much that it is like inches deep across the entire thing. He like repaved it, but with mud.
Then he stuck a small tree in it with a sign that says, "Go, stay to the left."
I was the first to drive through it, and I didn't see what the sign said. I thought he planted a tree there, and it looked like one of those little dangly, hangy...
from a sapling.
Labels on a sapling. I was like, what the hell did he do? And I was like, this must be a farmer's trick to keep the water. I have no idea. Anyway, I drive through on the right side as I come home, and I just like slide through. I was like, oh my God. And when I come back, I go on the other side and I creep by and I can actually see that it says pass on the left. Now the sign I'm actually on. And it is yesterday wasn't so bad because it was dry for a day.
It rained last night. We went on our morning walk with the dogs. I went down there and we had to stop there because it's ankle deep mud. And it's like, I don't want to get these dogs filthy. Come on, we're turning around. You have to take a picture.
And it's this like mud mixed with...
Oh, it's the clay mud out here. So it sticks to the inside of your wheels and throws the balance of the tire off.
Oh, yeah.
So when you go down the road at certain speeds, it's you feel the vibration, and then at other speeds it smooths out. And now you have to clean the underside of your car every time you come through.
Thank God that so these are the joys of living on the country road. That our car is also, we've got like a delivery van that is
a little taller.
It's a little taller.
It doesn't have low profile tires, and it's a little taller, but it gets in the inside of the wheels. And I have a 2-hour drive. I have a 4-hour drive, 2 hours there and 2 hours back today. Then I'm going to just run through this mud before we leave.
So that's fun.
That's fun.
But you found inspired by all of his work, Jason was like, you know what?
I asked him, what's going on here? Oh, the commune won't bring any breccia of the crushed gravel, and blah, 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 blah. And even if we do get crushed gravel, it's not a panacea. It's not going to fix everything, but it will sop up this muddy bridge. And I asked him, how much does a dump truck of crushed gravel cost? 50 euros. Oh, my God. All right. I'm taking my dump truck this week. It's raining the next couple days, but as soon as it stops raining, I'm going to go and spend a couple $100 and just get gravel, and then he could come back with his big tractor and bucket and smooth it all out. And we're not waiting for the stupid
commune,
the stupid village to give us crumbs. God damn, pisses me off.
And he already did all the hard work.
He did all the hard work. So all we have to do is dump and grade out the rock. It's easy.
Oh, I
can't believe that's what we're waiting for.
I kept giving him thumbs up and oh my gosh, thanking him. We need to make some cookies for him.
Other things going on. Oh, it's Gaji's birthday. Saturday we went to Gaji's. Well, I got a call from Rosanna Gaji's wife.
This is so classic.
I got a call for Rosanna Gaji's wife like Thursday, and she said, "What Saturday? We're all getting together for dinner." I go, "Yeah, it's Gaji's birthday." She goes, "No, the dinner is not for his birthday. It's just a dinner to get together." I go, fine, whatever.
She did this a couple years ago for her own birthday, had a party. We bring gifts. No one else does. People are like, what are we all doing here tonight? And I was like, it's her birthday. And like, she never said anything. And she then was like, well, this wasn't for my birthday. And it's like, then why are we doing it literally on your birthday? What is going on? And of course, everyone brought gifts.
Of course. Yeah, everyone bought gifts. And Gaji's easy to shop for because it's either a bottle of scotch or something to do with hunting. Oh, you got a beautiful knife.
I saw that.
So he's not a hard one to shop for. But we went to the one restaurant that she loves, not because it was better this time, not because it's great, but because they shell the vongole, the little clams. They will pick out all the shells when they serve the pasta to her. So that means that you've got Rosanna's business.
For life.
For life. She does not like to pick out the shells.
No. She skins her tomatoes.
Yes.
In dishes, like, she takes the skin off everything.
Like little tiny tomatoes.
Yeah, cherry
grapes.
Tomatoes.
Watching her eat grapes is a horrible experience. What are you doing? Just pop it in your mouth and eat it.
She's like, the toxins. No, she doesn't even say that.
She just doesn't like the skins.
Like it.
Yeah. All right, anyway. Of course, Saturday night, and even though everyone talks about economic crisis, all the restaurants are packed.
Oh my God, it was so packed. We were not expecting it.
No, and
we're so used to being way out here doing nothing, and we forget it's a Saturday night, and it was freaking warm.
It was warm, but everyone's got coats. Everyone. It's still wintertime, so you fill these restaurants up and they pump the heat and no one can breathe by the end of it. Like everyone's sweating at the table at the end. Anyway, Rosanna does typically when you have these big groups, Rosanna does all the ordering. Like she orders
Which I love.
everything
That's
ahead
what
of
I
time.
do too.
She orders everything ahead of time. You just sit down and they just start bringing you food. She ordered the menu.
The menu. And not like an assaggio, not just like a taste of everything. So much food came out. And I was sitting next to her. She, even with just the little zeppoli, the little dough ball.
It's a Napolitano restaurant, which this is a little bit of an FU to Gaji.
He totally is. He hates Napolitani.
He doesn't like the Napolitani at all. Like anyone south of like Rosanna says, anyone south of Ancona, he's suspect of, but he really doesn't like the Napolitani.
Which is an hour south of here.
So for her to make his birthday at a Napolitano restaurant,
that is a
little bit of an
hilarious. I didn't even think about that. So the little zeppolaire on the table, and she's already mumbling to me, going, "Well, Jason hasn't even had one." Is Jason not like it?
No, because I don't want fried dough. I know how much food's coming.
And everyone at this table knows how much food's coming because this is Rosanna's favorite place. And so no one's wanting to dig in. So then I like pop a couple in and I start passing them around the table. Then throughout the entire thing, she is doing that going, oh, so-and-so's not, I guess they don't even really like that kind of fish or something. And mumbling, criticizing the amount of food people are eating. So then I doubled down because I don't want her to start saying anything to me. And it was just like, she does this great like silent guilt trip out loud.
Why is no one eating? There's 8 or 10 of us. There was enough food for 30 people.
Oh my God. Insane. Then she wanted to take home the French fries for Maggie, for the dog. Doesn't Maggie want the French fries? I'm sure she wants the French fries, but she's a dog. I'm not bringing French fries home from a restaurant for a dog.
So I was sitting, Gaji was, of course, at the head of the table, and I was right to his right, so I got Gaji the whole night, which was great. He did not, there was a table next to us for of young, a mix of different people, probably 30s to 40s, and like 12 of them at a big table celebrating something, just having a good time. He didn't like it. They were talking too loud. He didn't like their look. Also,
he didn't like they were totally normal.
Two of the guys had gold chains on, and that means that they were drug dealers. Look at these drug dealers. Look, they're all drug dealers. I go, why? He goes, the gold chain. I go, because they have a gold chain, they're a drug dealer? Yeah, I could tell. I don't like it.
Oh, it was hilarious.
It was awesome.
He thought the candle took too long to burn out on his birthday cake. He was he just then said the cake came out and it probably wasn't what he wanted. And because he loves creamy stuff. And this was just creamy. A cake. But it had one of those like firework
candles that just kind of spit the sparks. And everything.
That like goes for a minute. And he just sits there with his arms crossed, basically.
Waiting for it. He was a curmudgeon the whole night. I don't know what was going on.
And then we all start making fun of him. And so he starts doing this fake smile thing, which was hilarious. But it was like, this guy is miserable. He's around his favorite people. Then I'm sitting across from one of Gaji's best friends forever, Tonino, and he is laughing it up, eating it up, drinking it up, telling me, ooh, make sure to get a little of that sauce mixed in with the other pasta, flirting it up. He is 91. And you could just see how a life full of joy and love ages someone so differently than Gaji being 76. And just...
Not happy to be at this dinner. I don't know what happened beforehand.
I don't know.
But I had a good time, and we got home late.
Oh,
after midnight.
My God.
I know. Didn't like it. I was wrecked the next day.
I know. Our eyes burned.
I didn't drink. I had a glass of wine with dinner, but it felt like I was out boozing all night long.
I felt like I've been boozing all night, and I was like, you had a sip of wine.
And I stayed up till 1 o'clock in the morning.
And then you complained about, why do people like champagne?
I don't like champagne. I decided.
I know. You can't spend too much time with Gaji and turn into him too soon.
Oh, we're there. Well on its way.
I know.
The train has definitely left. It's gaining.
Oh wait, speaking of Gaji, he was over here a week or so ago, and we were talking about projects and stuff, and Jason was saying how, he wants to get a donkey or maybe the goats or something, because he was like, I just want to put something back in the animal zone.
The animals are all pushed to later because of what happened.
He was like, but I want to put something in there. What was his response?
His response is, why don't you just go down there? You're a donkey. Get in your little
get in there.
Get in there.
It's so classic. Love it.
What else? It is time to buy olive oil. We got to start re-upping for the season, and that means the staples like wine and olive oil. And back in the day when we were younger and more adventurous, we would go around Italy and get this stuff in person. But now it's a little bit later. We're a little lazier, and we don't.
Also, Italy has become a bit more convenient.
Yes, and these companies ship now, so we don't really go down there anymore. But one thing that we have seen is the price jump in olive oil. Now,
all across Italy.
Now, when we first got here, let's see what year. Let's call it 2010.
Well, we got here in 2007, so let's call it 2008 or 9 for getting
a good quality, single producer was 10 euros, 9 euros a liter kind of thing. Maybe all the way up to 12 for like the snooty ones in Cartoceto.
It's Maggie.
Oh,
rolling
sorry.
around.
Just that is the good old days. A quality liter of olive oil will cost around 20 euros now. 22 on the high end,
24
on the high end, 18, 17 on the low end. That is what it goes for now, which is
I know.
insane.
Jason, every year as it climbs, goes, I'm not paying that. And then he's like, fine, order 5 liters or whatever it is. But you're like, it's the sticker shock each year of the climb.
Yeah, it's gotten really expensive. Wine hasn't gone up as much as olive oil has.
Knock on wood,
I know. So what are we getting? We are getting 3 or 4 different types. Now, you can go and get it from the Consorzio, which is like the consortium of growers in that area that grow the type of olives that they're known for. But that is like we've talked about this before, but that's like think of it in the terms of Scotch whiskey. It's a blend versus a single malt. So when you go to the consortium, it's a blend of all the different guys, different types of olives in one bottle. Then you can go to the single producers, and it's one guy and usually one type of olive, and you can choose the type of olive you want. And they'll have just like wine, they'll have like different notes on all of them. we get a mix of the two. Now, sometimes the consortium's great. Like, for instance, in the Pugliese olive oil, we usually just get it from the consortium, and that stuff's like motor oil. It is green and thick and heavy, and it
gets you in the back of the throat.
It lingers in your mouth, like it just coats your whole mouth.
Like that.
When you're getting,
I love it.
When you're getting olive oil, different olive oils are for different things. For instance, you can't make pesto with olive oil from Toscana. It doesn't work. It's too spicy and too olive oily. You have to get the olive oil from the Liguria coast, where it's much, much more neutral.
They call it the Riviera di Liguria.
Whatever. But just because it's from Tuscany or just because it's famous doesn't mean you have to like it. I don't.
Or that it goes with everything.
Or that it goes with everything. I don't like Tuscan olive oil. That's just my taste. We get olive oil from 3 places: Puglia, the Ligurian coast, and
Veneto.
Then the Veneto, or by
Lake Garda.
Lake Garda, which has a little microclimate up there. That's what I like. You might have a different taste. Ashley likes green olive oil that gets you in the back of the throat. I like more pepper and flowery and aromatics. But that doesn't work for everything. Like,
no, I say you don't like pepper. You like buttery.
Buttery. Sorry, I said peppery. Sorry, you like peppery and green.
I was like, you don't.
Ashley likes to have the olive oil and then it choke you out at the end. I'm
like
not
it punched you in the throat.
Yeah, I'm not into that.
I'm like, yeah, that is good.
But that is the going rate, and I have sticker shock because we have to buy. What do we have to buy? Like 25 liters of good olive oil.
Something like that.
30 liters. Mm-hmm. It's really not. Really, you want to use it up in a year, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Especially we live here, so we can get it. But olive oil is not meant to be aged like wines.
No.
So that was that's what we were doing this week, is getting all those things in, getting the wine in for the season. Normally we wait to buy our wine until after what's called Vin Italy. They take when all the wine. It's the biggest. What is Vin Italy?
Like a wine fair.
The wine fair in all of Italy.
Or
show, and all the producers will go up there, and then when they come back, you usually start buying the wine. Because I don't like the Sfuso's not ready yet. The loose wine won't be ready.
You got to wait a little bit longer. We'll get enough to kind of start the season and then do a big re-up after that.
But you can't wait on the olive. We're a little bit late on the
olive oil you got to get.
You got to get the olive oil, because once it's out, and you can't get it too close to the new Ricolta, because they'll try to give you last year's olive oil.
Ooh, zinger.
So you have to wait the perfect little. I usually wate until after the new year.
Yeah, right around now.
But no, we're in March.
Oh, yeah.
Today's the 24th. We're late.
No, we're not. Today's not the 24th of March.
No, today's the 24th of February.
Uh-huh.
By the time we get
Goddamn Leroy.
By the time we get our shit together and order it will be March.
This is true. Speaking of orders, who else has a shitbox KitchenAid that or I should say a piece of shit KitchenAid that what our parents had that we grew up with is not what we have seen today, or what we purchased, I don't know, how many years ago?
3-4 years ago?
More than that.
Really?
Even if it is, those things used to last a lifetime. Ours has
destroyed,
self-destroyed.
Yeah. So I need a new kitchen machine because I'm not spending more money on a KitchenAid.
And you've already done all the tightening things and watched all the videos.
Yeah. There's no more adjusting. We're at the stops and all the adjustments. It's the head's wobbly. The thing showed up with play and all the controls, and the head wobbles and
paint chipping off.
The enamel immediately off all the attachments. KitchenAid.
What? No, I'm just thinking with the KitchenAid. I thought it was like this robust.
Welcome to the modern era. Because a KitchenAid used to be expensive. The same
it's something that lasted a life.
Yeah, but it used to be like we've talked about this on podcasts many times before. In the professional kitchen, there was always some sort of KitchenAid countertop one. They used to be their own brand. They were bought by Hobart, and then who knows after that who they were sold to. But now, if you can find anything that's being sold in a Best Buy, Target, a big box store, it's not a professional machine anymore. They did the same thing to the Vitamix blenders. Vitamix blenders used to be like $1,200 and we'd had them in the restaurant. They would drop them off a table, kick them. They worked forever. And then they went to the consumer and they cheap out on everything. It still feels like it should be quality, but when you put it to the test, it falls apart. So time to buy a new kitchen machine, and I don't want to get a commercial one because they're just too big. Like, I already have a commercial mixer for the pizza dough. I need something smaller that I can pick up and move around. And
that being said, you go on Facebook Marketplace, and they're there all day.
Oh, used professional equipment?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's cheap. Like, way less than I spent for this little thing.
I know. But there's nowhere to put it.
There's nowhere to put it. And I don't want another... The thing about professional equipment is it usually does one thing. So, like, a machine like this does 3 or 4 things because it's built for more of the home. We'll see how it turns out. The one I went with is a Swedish one called... What the heck's it called?
Like Ankerstrom?
Ankerstrom. It's a weird-looking one, but we'll see if it works out better. It is...
Squat.
Yeah.
Bigger bowl,
open bowl. Can do... I don't like how KitchenAid does high hydration doughs.
And they keep talking about its whisking capabilities.
Oh, so I got it again. Reing up for the season. That's something I use all the time. So we'll see how it holds up.
Yeah,
I hope this one holds up a lot better than the crappy KitchenAid.
Just walks across. It just like spazzes itself out across the table. You're just like, this thing is gonna just blow. Anything else?
You were going... no, not really. We have to get ready to go drive. Get ready to drive this dog to the vet.
Carnivale is coming up. So, we're going to miss all that. Doing these dog things. Fano's been having it for a few weekends already. And it's coming up.
To the chagrin of Gaji, because they live right on the parade route, like a block off of it. And, he's not too much of a fan of all the cars and the noise.
He says he can't go outside those weekends. There's too many people. He's fun. What's hilarious is we talk shit, tell these crazy stories about him, and then get people who come who are podcast listeners. When they show up, they want to meet Gaji. It's like, don't you know he's not that happy of a guy. Oh my God.
But going forward in next month, we have got to. I don't know what we're gonna do. We're just gonna lock this dog in a closet and
we're not.
Go to work. Like, we got to get to work.
Oh, I know what you're saying.
Like, we've got to get this house together because the spring is coming. Beginning of the month, we're going to start planting the seeds for the onions.
Not planting, starting
the seeds for the Bepe onions. We'll start the seeds for the chilies. It's time to get the garden going again.
Yep.
Spring.
It is.
In fact,
it's so weird, the weather.
It's warm right now, and the birds this morning, like, normally you don't hear a lot of birds in the wintertime. Today, the birds were going crazy, which means spring is coming. The birds are back.
We've had a couple days where it's slightly warm, and it's just like, this is too warm. We're going to pay for it at some point.
Well, I noticed the trees on the coast have already blossomed, and I noticed the buds on all the trees starting to swell here. It's too early. We're going to get a freeze between now and...
I have a story to share.
What?
Rustino.
Oh, yeah. No, I think we talked about it on the last one.
I don't think so.
No?
Well, we had what is it called? A bantam rooster.
Small rooster.
A small rooster who we loved. He was an absolute gentleman, had a luxurious, like, mane of feathers, and he was just a good guy. And we'd had giant, big, regular roosters in the past that all turned into grade A assholes and rapists. That we were like, all right, this guy he's great.
We've had him for 10 years.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. And this winter, we had already talked about it because we thought, we're not sure if he's going to make it through the winter because he's still getting around. But he's slower. He's the last one to get up. He's the first one to go to bed.
And his
call went from just a proud, boisterous rooster to this, like, it was like so pathetic that it was sad and hilarious every time. But he was still out with the ladies, and sure enough, he died doing what he loved most.
He was murdered by monsters in the sky.
He got taken out by a hawk, but he saved the ladies. The ladies all saved. They were scarred for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, they wouldn't come out of the coop for 2 weeks.
But he died protecting the ladies.
Pour some liquor out for Rustino.
I know, sweet old Rustino. So come this spring, we're going to need to get another guy. But this one's for you, Roosty.
There you go. Well, this has not been an uplifting one, I have to say, but it is what's going on around here these days. Anything else to talk about?
No, go to the website. We still have some dates over the summer if you want to join us for one of the workshops, take over the farmhouse. We also do the Move to Italy workshops either virtually or in person. And over the summer, if you're traveling and looking for 3 nights to maybe start thinking about moving out here, it's a good way to break up your trip. Check us out, www.latavolamarche.com. Don't either. I don't know why I just did that. HTTP. Okay, on the World Wide Web, you know where to find us. Have a good one, guys.
Sentire Media.
Hey, podcast producers and show hosts. Do you want to join a podcast network that celebrates all things Italian? At Sentire Media, we understand the allure of Italy and its unique culture. Our devoted team of hosts and producers are all driven by their shared passion for Italy. And we work tirelessly to create the best lifestyle podcasts and content that will whisk you away to the very heart of Italy. With us, you can savor the mouth-watering flavors, get lost in the stories from the past, break down the cultural barriers, and truly immerse yourself in the vibrant traditions of this intoxicating country. If you have a great podcast idea or are already in production and would like to join Sentire Media, head over to sentiremedia.com, that's SENTIRE media.com, and find out how to submit your show.